Hey, what's going on? Now, a lot of people are flipping out about this picture right here. Now, what is this picture, shall we say? Well, our guy on the left is the bringer of titty himself, Kim Hwang Tae, the Stellar Blade director. He's the director of the Shift Up, which is a studio that brought us Stellar Blade and brought us games like Nikkei Yasa Victory, the herald of the ass in titty itself into in entertainment. Like this man, like Nikkei Yasa Victory, you need to understand that game prints money for Shift Up, Illustrator game developer Shift Up, right? And because that game was so successful, so good, he decided, you know what? We're going to make a somewhat decent AAA product called Stellar Blade. Kind of a Souls inspired, goofy story and such. So that's that god of a man himself. Now on the right is Neil Cuckman himself. Now Neil Cuckman is I think he's a CEO or something of Naughty Dog Entertainment. Yeah, that tiny little company that made The Last of Us. Yeah, that's him right there. Now, I don't like Neil Cuckman. I'm going to tell you why. I do not like this man. I don't, well, I mean, nothing against the studio itself. Look, there was a woman named Amy Henning who was, I think, she worked in Naughty Dog and then became the head of Naughty Dog. But if you played games like Soul Calibur when you were younger, and games of those sorts, like she effectively created your entire childhood. Like if it came from Naughty Dog back then, back in the golden age of gaming, you can thank Amy Henning for that. Now Neil Cuckman, you know, I guess he worked there also, but I believe this all happened in the Last of Us 2 debacle, or was The Last of Us 1 DLC? Yeah, I think it was The Last of Us 1 DLC where, maybe things transpired and Amy Henning was ousted from the company, and because she signed an NDA, she's not allowed to really say, but we can tell that, because of the culture that was happening at the time of firing people in entertainment who's actually competent, because maybe they said, I don't know, something racist 10 years ago. Like, yeah, remember when we all had to pretend to care what somebody said 10, 15, 20 years ago? Yeah, that was the odd culture. And, if I ever have kids, it'll be very odd trying to tell them of that time. It's like, yeah, remember when people cared if you said a racist word 10, 20 years ago and that could get you fired today? Yeah, those were the times we were living in the 2016, 2017 era. So yeah, that's Neil Cuckman. Oh yeah, I do remember whenever The Last of Us 2 came out, and whenever The Last of Us 2, had its shabacle, like, Naughty Dog had probably one of the highest layover? Layover. Layover. Why can't I think of the word? Turnover rate. Yes, the highest turnover rate, which is people, effectively leaving after a couple days or a couple weeks of work, had the highest turnover rate than even some retail jobs or even some like jobs like McDonald's. And it makes sense for the high turnover rate in those type of companies because, well, you have young people that work them for, maybe a week or maybe over the weekend or, for a small amount of time. Yeah, people make, work those jobs long term, but that's usually not they're the outliers. It's not really the rule in those types of jobs. But you would think a game developer is a long-standing job, but no. according to Naughty Dog at the time, and according to Neil Cuckman at the time. No, they just pass you along, and then when that happened, the person that hired in after you had to effectively pick up the slack. I am not a fan of Neil Cuckman, but what does this picture mean? Everyone's saying. Well, I don't think it really means a damn thing. I mean, I know people are flipping the fuck out because they've seen this, because you have two diametrically opposing forces in entertainment. You have the bringer of ass and titty of waifus next to, the social, like, well, how do you describe the individual? The type of individual you know all of their politics. It's like you know their opinion on Trump, you know they're for Black Lives Matter, feminists, trans ally, like that type of individual. And you don't really know if that individual really, thinks any of that, but they sure as hell want you to think that they do. That's the type of individual Neil Cuckman is. I cannot stand individuals like Neil Cuckman. Well, I guess, he's over Naughty Dog, so I guess what he's doing is successful for now. I mean, we see this game that's going to come out in maybe the next year or so. I don't know. I looked at it, wasn't a fan of this game, but people, the type of individual that we were talking about, hail Neil Cuckman as like the Messiah. Like so many games tried to emulate The Last of Us 2, regardless of what you think about it. It's like every game tries to be an over the shoulder third person with a little bit of stealth, large cutscenes, very rich in environment, with a little bit of crafting, a little bit of looting, a little bit of quest. Like most AAA games, if you think about it, really did copy from The Last of Us 2, despite everything. And I think The Last of Us 2 won Game of the Year one of those years, which is the reason why a lot of people shunned the Game Awards. But, I mean, again, I can only give my synopsis of this. I don't think this means anything. I mean, the Asian culture is they're very polite. I don't think this person is going to diss. Right? The Asian culture fights the battle the way it should be. They don't scream, they don't yell, they don't flip out at you. They don't try to be the loudest person in the room and just impose their daddy issues. They're very kind and polite. And then, they absolutely blow Western entertainment out the water in the background. That's why a lot of people didn't like when I glazed Nikkei on my YouTube video, or by a lot of people I mean surprisingly 3. Like 3 is a lot of people if your channel only has 53 subscribers. And they're like, we don't really want this game to be popular because normies will come in, and when normies come in, they demand things change. I'm like, you know what? That makes sense. Some things should just be allowed to be niche and unheard of. I'm checking the comments. Oh God, is this gonna, oh fuck, oh wait, whatever. But anyway, that's all I gotta say about this. This means nothing. But y'all have fun. Peace.